What's going on YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you quickly how to integrate ChatGPT into your Node applications. So by the end of this video, you will have ChatGPT in your application and be able to send it requests, and you'll be able to get a response via the ChatGPT OpenAI package in Node. So it's pretty simple to get started here. As you can see, I have a blank slate. So what I'm going to do initially is I'm going to initialize my Node project, npm init, to initialize a Node project. I don't need any of these, so I'm just going to step through. So initialize our Node project there, and next we want to actually just npm install their package, or their Node package, which is just called OpenAI, and it's clicked install, so npm install OpenAI. Now once we have that, I'm just going to throw the code I have for this video in an app.js file, but you can throw this code in any file you'd like. Now in my app.js file, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a function I already generated or created before this video. I'm just going to step through and explain some things in this function. So initially what you want to do is const configuration OpenAI API require OpenAI. The first step you need is the configuration here. So in the configuration, you have to pass in an API key. To generate this API key, I'm going to link something in the description below where you can create one yourself. It is free initially to use an API key, but eventually they will start to charge you. So in order to do that, you want to click the link I have in the description below for the API key and just simply create an API key. So I'm just going to create a new secret key because I deleted mine before and I can't access it again. Then I want to go back to my application and I just want to throw it here. Now typically what you want to do is when you have a sensitive API key like this, you want to save it in a file where it's not plain text in your code because that is bad practice. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show it here and delete it after the video because you typically don't want people using this API key because if they do, they can eventually charge your account if OpenAI is already billing you. So you really don't want that and you want to keep it as secret as possible. But at the beginning, it is free and you don't have to do any credit card information, so that's fine. Next, we create the OpenAI object here simply with new OpenAI API and we pass in the configuration which contains our API key. Finally, I have a very simple asynchronous function called generate text where I'm using that OpenAI API object to send a response or to send a question to this model. And that question is how to create a simple Node app. And that's the question we have today, and it's going to return a response. To get the response, you want to do .data.choice0 and then .text to get the response. There's other formatted aspects of the JSON that you can access, but we're not going to go into that into this video. And the model we're using is actually the Text DaVinci 003, which as of the making of this video, I think is the most powerful up-to-date model they have for the DaVinci model. They have other models which are designed for other things or lighter weight. I just know that the DaVinci one, I think, is the one that you use on the actual ChatGPT website when you go to their website and ask a question. And then they had, of course, 002, 001. Those are the older ones. They're less powerful. 003 is, of course, the most computationally expensive, and you do want to be aware of this. So going ahead and running this, you can see I'm calling the function here very simply. So if I just do node and I call the function in my app.js file and I run it, you can see initially it's giving me a response, but it's kind of weird because it's not giving me the whole response. So if you do want the whole response, what you have to do instead, you have to do something called max tokens. And max tokens basically is a measure of how much context you want back from the model. So the higher the number of tokens, the more characters you're going to get from the response. So ideally, if you know it's going to be a big response, you want more tokens. In this case, I'm just going to do 4,000. I believe the limit's somewhere around 4,000 for this model, but you can look at those limits online if you're more interested in. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear that. I'm going to run it again, and you'll see that it will give me the full response. So it'll take some time. Let's see. Okay, you can see it gave me the full response here, how to create a simple Node app, just as if you were to go to ChatGPT on the web browser and ask it this question. So that's pretty cool. And the only con of this method is that, of course, OpenAI will eventually charge you for their API. At the beginning, you can experiment it a little bit for free, and eventually they will charge you. I'm not sure how expensive it is because I haven't done it yet, but that's for you to decide and for you to design in your Node application. And also with these models, there's many parameters you can pass in to this create completion method. And there's other methods as well you can pass in to experiment with this model. So I'll leave that up to you, the user, to go and read their documentation. They have great documentation in terms of the parameters and other aspects you can use with this API. So it's pretty cool. And I think it's something that you can use to powerfully integrate into your applications, potentially to serve the user some advanced functionality. So if you learned something quick in this video, please consider like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. As always, guys, stay tuned and thanks for watching.